sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, mad run, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind, prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years, the world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guidestones it's written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, I'm Howard Nima, and it's Truth Talk Night at the Movies here on Truth Talk News on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. Very happy that you're all joining me tonight. A lot of stuff to go over in the first hour before the screening of Rollerball, and I also have the actual story that I printed that was written by William Harrison. It appeared in Esquire magazine in the pivotal year of 1973, and was, of course, turned into the movie with James Caan. And it goes into this whole dystopian future ruled by corporatists, by corporate entities, and the enslavement of the population, and the willingness for them to be just swept up in all the fanfare of the game Rollerball, this bloodthirsty game, while Jonathan E., is the central character, James Caan portrayed him in the film, had this sense of individuality, and he was the best, and they can't have the individual best, they can't have that, so they ask him to retire, and the entire film he's trying to figure out why, and he realizes that it's to crush the individual spirit. And then, of course, at the end of the film, he attains his goal by winning, where they said that he could not. And isn't that not really our own history in America? Oh, the naysayers that say people can't achieve whatever it is they wish to achieve in life. It takes sacrifice, it takes time, it takes effort, and it's possible. And it's still possible. And there are things that are extremely possible and positive in this New World Order that we're living through. It's still not a complete oligarchy-controlled system that they're moving towards, but it is slowly becoming that way, and various freedoms are being usurped in the name of liberty for ulterior motives and purposes. So the idea that corporations running the world was not only true in 1973. It's true now. There is certainly the truth to the fact that the major corporations influence our government to the point where we all are purchasing things and spending resources we don't have to satisfy these corporate interests that basically are using us as like we're like the hosts and they're like the parasites. And anyone that exposes this is now at threat and risk of their own personal safety and their constitutional right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, because it is a totalitarian, authoritarian takeover of our government that we're going through here, ladies and gentlemen. And I get more bold each day, because we have to call it what it is. While these puppets, Romney and Obama, are, calling each other liars, and they're both lying, that you don't see the truth. And the truth is that these corporate entities are the problem. And a good friend of mine, Chris, who you know who you are if you're listening, Chris, not Chris Freedom Flowers, of course, I would clarify that, but believes that capitalism is inherently the problem. I don't believe in that. I believe that a free market, a true free market, would bear the fruit for everyone. And everyone would be able to have the opportunity, given the effort, time, and expense required, to have a successful life, instead of it being so many more falling to the wayside, so many more needing assistance from our government. I have a lot of news about this. I mean, I have it all on paper here. Sometimes I don't even think I need to look at it. Because do you know that for the fiscal year of 2011, ladies and gentlemen, the Obama administration spent $1 trillion plus dollars. I think it was $1,030,000,000 on welfare programs. This is unsustainable. This was not the point and purpose of welfare, but it is the purpose of collectivism to bring in the New World Order. It is the purpose required. A progressively high income tax, a progressive tax, loss of property rights, which happens left and right. I go over these different stories. It continues to happen, never getting any media attention. And that's why this is Truth Talk News. I mean, I've dedicated myself to getting out the information that nobody talks about the right way. If it's something current, a current event, such as the false flag attack the other day, the set-up false flag, it's not an attack. The false flag promulgation, creation of this long Nafir guy with the 15 different names, who was going to blow up the Federal Reserve after, of course, they recruited him and gave him the ammunition to do that so that they can arrest him to make themselves look like they're doing this great work for our tax dollars. And the sheep just buy it and listen to it and take everything to say his heart. Like Bill Clinton, who ruined our economy. He's looked at as this god or something for the Democrats, not remembering that he's the one that repealed Glass-Steagall, that brought us into this financial mess and allowed people that should not have been able to have homes, and pressured lenders to lend money to low-income minority and people that really couldn't afford to buy these homes. And they did, and they feel as though they prospered until they lost those homes and the market went upside down, and all the things that were created and they knew would happen, they did. This is how they work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the New World Order. This is why I'm here doing this, because I know the truth, and I expose the truth. And anyone that would like to participate can always call us here at 347-609-0911. That is the call-in number. Again, that's 347-609-0911. And the truth of the matter is, it is 9/11, by the way, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The truth is that we have been horribly deceived by our government.
many, many times. It comes out, and then everybody's just more interested in their own personal lives, not understanding how it really will affect them. I screen these movies, I talk about films like The Day After, and then watch The Day After, and people are just not open-minded to look at it and say, well, what really matters? The day after a nuclear explosion, and the people end up, what lives do they have? There is life, but there's destruction. The New World Order is all about bringing us back to sort of like a neo-feudal, scientific technocracy, plutocracy, controlled by these oligarchs and their insane Nazi-like, Nazi-esque, they are Nazis, many of them, Nazi ideologies for certain, certainly on the scientific side, to use us not only to depopulate us intentionally, but to bring humanity to this higher level, this transhumanist level. This is the truth. This is the truth. This is what's happening. This is where we are. We cannot deny it. So when you find out that there are earthquakes happening in Montreal last week, and earthquakes here in Maine and Connecticut being affected, and you know about chemtrails, and yesterday there was a tremendous amount of chemtrails, and you can literally see the vapors coming down off of the clouds, or that were there behind it. It was like a three-dimensional thing. There was a background, and there was a moving foreground, and then there was the air in front of your eyes. And I stared at this yesterday, watching hundreds of chemtrails. I saw personally at least 7 different planes that were spraying yesterday, the 27th, the 27th, the 17th. And my coworkers noticed planes as well, and that they're spraying a lot. And I don't know in your communities what happened yesterday or what's going on, but I do know that there was an earthquake just the day before that. And the way HAARP works, understanding HAARP, the Air Force Research Laboratory and the Navy, the Office of Naval Research and Naval Research Laboratory, has been absorbed in the development of research and deployment of a system that is based upon the pioneer work of Nikola Tesla. HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, is a major Arctic facility for upper atmospheric and solar terrestrial research. HAARP is being built on a Department of Defense-owned site near Gakona, Alaska. It is actually there. It is not being built. It is built. And is known as the Ionospheric Research Instrument, or IRI, used to stimulate small, well-defined volumes of the ionosphere and ultra-high-frequency incoherent scatter radar, used to measure electron densities, electron and ion temperatures, and Doppler velocities in the stimulated region and the natural ionosphere. Now, a layman translation would have one to ask, well, what effects upon the weather could this technology pose? And a good source is the answer that the question can be found in the accounts of Dr. Nick Begich. To put simply, the apparatus for HAARP is a reversal of a radio telescope. Antennas send out signals instead of receiving. HAARP is the test run for a super powerful radio wave beaming technology that lifts areas of the ionosphere by focusing a beam and heating those areas. Electromagnetic waves then bounce back to Earth and penetrate everything living and dead. Now, I've had things, I've gone on record with this, and as God is my witness and on my son's eyes, I was hit by some sort of a magnetic weapon that had this frequency that was affecting me and my thought processes on a couple of occasions, different types of weapons. So I don't know what they're using. These things are all patented and they're real. And this is not this is not some sort of sensationalism thing. It's just the truth is, unfortunately, the truth is just so much more bizarre than fiction when you really look at it and you understand it. and research it and find it. And you must find the truth. You listening to my voice today, tomorrow, whenever, you have to research this information that I'm giving you. It's critical. I don't do this for my health. I do this for humanity. I do this for my children, my son. I do this for his family when he grows, and their children, and the progeny of a free world. Because the New World Order is the opposite of freedom. They will tell you, they will give you food and plentifulness and all this stuff and stop disease and hunger. Meanwhile, they're doing the exact opposite right under everyone's nose, but nobody is taking the time to look, to really research the information, to find the disinformation, the COINTELPRO, to find the truth. You must find the truth. You must find the only truth, and that is the truth. And then when you find that truth, and you know that it's real, just look to your soul, look to yourself and say, what do I do with this information that the masses of the world do not understand? I mean, even if 20% of the world is awake, 80% is not. And we got to reach that 80%. Or whatever the actual statistic is. I mean, clearly, because we all have to get off the grid. We have to get off this getting information from the mainstream sources. As much as, you know, today I have this absolute. I love Brad Davis, and I'm getting to understand him, and he's, I think, getting to understand things too. I listen to him every day on the way to work, and here on the Talk of Connecticut in New York, and excuse me, in Connecticut. I used to come from New York. I just can't get that out of my soul. I guess you can take me out of New York, but never take New York out of me, I guess. But he's talking about how he gives little tiny little hints. I mean, I guess I appreciate as much as he can do being part of the controlled mainstream media, understanding that these alternative information that they get that's available on the internet, as he made reference to today on his show. I was going to call in. I'm going to call in again, and I'm going to speak with him, and I'm going to thank him. Because the truth is, you are going to get a censored truth. Even if it's true, if it's going to hurt a certain corporate interest, forget about an evil intent. If there is some sort of corporate interest that there is going to be a conflict with, this came out with Monsanto, with the bovine milk, the bovine hormone. And again, you have this relationship between these corporations and making money, the truth and the media. There is definitely a conflict of interest, ladies and gentlemen. The Founding Fathers did not intend corporations to control the media, to control public opinion. It was supposed to keep, the media was to keep the government in check, and this is what we do. The truth community, the truth movement, and my show, specifically myself, for speaking for myself, I am oppressed. Truth Broadcast Network is oppressed. We are the media. We are a legitimate news source. We are not any of the things that these controlled, corporatists state. The truth is that all you need to do to be a press is to have a newsletter and press it and send it out, and you are a press. It is a free press, and guess what? We are a press. That's right. We are a website sharing information. TruthBroadcastNetwork.com, Truth Talk News, Freedom First Films. It's all information. Fair use information for the public. Truth. And we give this to you because they, the controlled mainstream media, have corporate interests and other, yes, more insidious interests. and they use liberty and freedom and law and order and against the rule of the jungle, where the rule of law, yes, while they're creating tyranny. And that is the worst tyranny of all. There is no greater tyranny than that which is perpetrated under the shield of law and in the name of justice. That said, HAARP, getting back to what's going on with HAARP, it can cause earthquakes, atmospheric disturbances, ozone hole mitigation, ionospheric mirrors, many different problems. Can be weather modification with high power electromagnetic radiation, radiotoshin can be on the site of this Eastland Scientific Enterprise Corporation. Papers are available online dealing with this. But there is already the Air Force study that U.S. aerospace forces to own the weather by capitalizing on emerging technologies and focusing development on those technologies to warfighting applications, from enhancing friendly operations or disrupting those of the enemy via small-scale tailoring of natural weather patterns to complete dominance of global communications. So it's really a freaky thing that we have going on here. We have this absolutely frightening truth that in the 1970s, former National Security Advisor Zbigniew Brzezinski had foreseen all of this in his book, Between Two Ages. Of course he foreseen this. This is all planned, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing happens by coincidence. Technology will make available to the leaders of major nations techniques for conducting secret warfare, of which only a bare minimum of the security forces need be appraised. Techniques of weather modification could be employed to produce prolonged periods of drought or storm. And that's that. It also can create earthquakes, which we've been having a lot of seismic activity, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been paying attention. Unreasonably weird. In July, there was an earthquake in Washington, D.C. area and Virginia. Felt it here in Connecticut as well. Felt the earthquake the other day in Connecticut. Chris Freedom Flowers reported the earthquake in Montreal. The world is not as it appears. Things are not as they seem. And that's why we need alternative sources like Truth Talk News and Death to the New World Order and American Infidel with our new host, Jeff Wicala, who is just like absolutely awesome. And I'm so happy that he's a part of the team. And we have Slim Swayze with Hammering the New World Order. All of these other shows here on Truth Broadcast Network are very important because everybody, and I've listened to everyone, we all are on the same page. What I mean by that is that we know what's going on and we have done the research and we are doing what we ask you to do. So we need to multiply our efforts. Like in the 1970s, they had that hair commercial, you'll tell two friends and then so on and so on and so on. Well, we need to do that. And not only tell our friends and they have to get active. You got to just say, listen, you got to understand that I'm not crazy spending however many hours it is that you choose to spend because this is your life. Well, this isn't, this is a free country. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm sort of imploring you that it's required as a patriot for this nation for our sovereignty, because it'll be taken away and they'll just lock us up. And we're crazy people. We're the infidels. We're the evil terrorists. We're the evil doers. And they'll put us away because we want to restore a constitutional republic and stop this insanity of this corporate takeover of our humanity. So tonight's film is very, very, very timely. And what's going on, and the transhumanists, and the Ray Kurzweils, and all of this evolutionary process that they're looking for, and the depopulation programs, and the Club of Rome, ladies and gentlemen. Research these things. Look into this in their papers. It's unbelievable. Jacques Cousteau said, it's a horrible thing to say, but we need to kill 350,000 people a day to help with this population problem. Prince Philip the Nazi, married to Queen Elizabeth Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, also known as the Windsor family, with their loving, German roots in Bavaria. The whole formation of this order, this world order. You have such a controlled mechanism. Somebody like Prince Philip saying, we need to come back. I can do something good for humanity if I were to die and come back as a dreaded disease that would do something for the population problem. And these people are looked at, and people curtsy to the Queen, and and she loves horses. The Queen loves horses. Why do we talk about the Queen? Did you ever think about that? Why is there so much emphasis on Queen Elizabeth and the royal family and all that? Do you know why? It's not pop culture. No, it's because they still own our ass. We're still a colony of England. Eustace Mullins revealed that, and that's truth. And that's on record. There's a corporation of the United States established in 1871. That's right, the Corporation of the United States. Look it up. Replacing the Republic. Bringing us into this communist fascio, sort of like hybrid of communism and fascism, this relationship between corporatism and government. And this Stasi-esque breakdown with all these federal organizations like the FDA, going down on Dr. Carpenter because she has another cure that can help the cancer mafia, that goes against the cancer mafia. And then you have this new thing, sour sop. Oh, they're trying to get some sort of a organic. They want to figure out a way to manipulate the sour sop because it cures cancer. So that they can turn it into some sort of a molecule, so they can patent it for the medical mafia, for the big pharma cartels. It's just all of the suppression of research. Now that selenium, ladies and gentlemen, helps against breast cancer. We've known this for a long time, but now it's out there in the mainstream because we, the people of the alternative, have such a strong voice, and more of us need to do this. The ones especially that have joined our ranks, people like Harry Link that has organized this entire operation, and it's just he does amazing work. But he brought us all into the fold here. Chris Freedom Flowers will be returning to the airwaves. I mean, this is powerful stuff. We know our stuff. We know our research. We've done the work. And we're going to make an impact because you are going to do the work, and you are going to understand the importance. As things are, and then those that are skeptical, because I keep talking to people as if you're already aware and awake, and most people that listen, that's obviously true, because the sheep, they don't want to even hear it. They don't even click on the link. Friends of mine, people I've known for 20 years, will probably have never watched this show. I don't know how else to put it other than the more that we put information out there, the more of us that are active, the less they can quiet our voices, the less they can deny their lies. They're caught, and we'll get them. We need to make a change, and the change has to come not from the top down, not from Obama or Robama or any of these puppets. It needs to be a grassroots thing. Again, I like Gary Johnson, and I like Wright too, who's another libertarian. They would make a good ticket, just the two of them, president and vice president. We need to get back to a restoral of the constitutional values that our nation was founded upon, or this nation will cease to exist. It's already halfway there. I mean, I'm not even kidding. And I'm not an alarmist. I abhor any of this fear-mongering. But the truth is, we're in a lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm Howard Niemeyer, and you're listening to and watching Truth Talk News on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. This is Azure Soul with indefinite detention, something we're all subject to now. Rex 84, NDAA 1031, 1032, Nazi Germany, Stalin Russia, Buchenwald, Auschwitz. The FBI creates terrorists, ladies and gentlemen. So does the CIA. This is the Department of Homeland Security. You're requested to stay in your homes. Welcome to the New World Order. Feeling like a terrorist today? Feeling a little down? Just take some Orencia. It'll give you some cancer. Take some, have some Prozac. Causes insanity. Because they want to take it, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not going to let them, are we? We're not going to be another communist, totalitarian country, are we? Are we going to allow the criminal TSA, who's saying that's a crime for us to show their images? Well, I'm doing it right now. I just dare you, you scum, while you, in the name of freedom and liberty, take away our rights and our dignity, our own dignity, groping us, you pedophile scum. When you go to an airport, they're bringing in all of this in the name of security and freedom, helping to bring about peace and liberty, and it's so obvious that it's the opposite, and the money is just about to depopulation and horrific things, the drugs, the drug dealing, the coercion, the complicity with the CIA and all of the banks, the big banks, the IRS, criminal fraud, the Federal Reserve, which again, I mean, if you're going to blow up a bank, what better bank to blow up, and figuratively and literally, than the Federal Reserve? So certainly this Not Fear guy has really got himself into a lot of hot water by being manipulated by the FBI. And this is just what's going on. I mean, this is what's happening. We also have the obvious situation where we have the Obama is supposedly supposed to be, I'm all for whistleblowers. Well, this is how it's Orwellian. This is how the Orwellianness works. So Eric Holder, our Attorney General, the really honest Attorney General with Fast and Furious and all that, and wouldn't give documents and all this, we're just supposed to believe that everything's okay, don't worry about it, I'm in charge of everything, everything's fine. It's like, think of it, it's like all these people like Goebbels and Goering and, you know, and all of these great cats. That's who you're dealing with, you know, and I mean, we can't forget Hess, and we can't forget people like, let's go through the list of our administration. I could use these euphemisms for these other people, these eco-fascists, John P. Holdren and others. Eichmann, you know, how about we can look at considering it being Heydrich? Of course. This is it. This is what we're under. But no, you're not going to believe that, the sheep out there. But we have to wake you up, and the way to wake you up is those that are listening, that are awake, is to do your work, do your research. Research, verify, report. Research, verify, report. Research, verify, report. Every day. 5 minutes a day. Do it. And it gets out there. I know, because I'm telling you, I mean, by the grace of God, that I have been blessed to have good friends and to meet up with the right people to get this information out, because of the work of these people. I don't know how else to put it. I'm humbled. The scope of reach is just so great with the work that we're all doing, and people like Jeff Durkin here at We Are Change Connecticut. I can't keep giving him enough credit. He's a young kid, and he's just amazing. And he is just out there and getting people to listen and wake them up. And this is what we do. I mean, it's very, like I said, humbling. It's a little bit over a year that I've been doing the first. It was radio, and now here on the video situation here with this show, this regular TV. I guess you call it internet television. I guess that's what it is. Broadcasting, truth broadcasting, and our YouTube page, which is Freedom First Films on YouTube, has a lot of, a tremendous archive, and I'm just astounded that I'm getting somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, 800 or 900 hits on a daily basis at this point, several hundred hits at least, for various different videos. And if you look at it, it's like if the stock market was only the way that this trend is going, it would be amazing. That means the information is shared and it's being spread and that we're doing our job. And I'm not lying. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, I'll bring it up. I don't want to take up too much time, but you just go there. I think anybody can hit an analytical, or maybe you can't. I don't know, but it's just when you look at it, the growth is just unbelievable. It's only in one direction, and that's the only direction we can go, is to continue to go up. So when I talk about the New World Order and fighting it and the stuff that's going on here, it's just unbelievable. Now, before we get into the movie, now the movie is a 2-hour film, and I wanted to, I know I only got about 15 minutes or so before I have to air it, and I did want to go over a little bit of the rollerball story, which is just amazing. Now, you can get this PDF online written by William Harrison. It's 7 pages long, and it's very interesting to read. Sort of written in a, it's interesting. It's written in a prose format, but it looks like a screenplay. If you those that have ever written screenplays, it's the way that the actual description is put. But my point is that present tense and stuff like that. But anyway, my point is that so much is happening. Violent crime jumps 18% in 2011. For the first time, it's risen in nearly 20 years. Now, there's a reason for this. The deindustrialization is taking its toll. The economy is getting worse. They love this. They love it this way. Remember, the New World Order will rise to its glory in its eyes. What its goal is to rise to glory out of the chaos of our world. Okay, so now Obama is pursuing leakers. Now he goes and he says that he is going to protect the whistleblower. I'm going to protect the whistleblowers, and yes, and I'm going to give you 10 days to read any bill before I sign it. And I'm going to give you, I'm going to not send it. I'm not going to listen to NATO tell me to send me to war, and I'm going to do anything the Council of Foreign Relations tells me, and I'm going to do everything that I can to make Mr. Rockefeller happy and proud, so that my family and my progeny will always be blessed because of our bloodline through the CIA, this nice connection that we have here. And I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud that I could help the American people so that they could buy homes, and they'll be able to get the American dream and take care of the American dream. They can do it. I know they can, because this is America, and Hillary and I just know that everybody should have a home, a place they call their own, that they can't afford, and then several years down the line, the banks take it back. And I force all those banks to give those loans too, yeah. That's right. And I repealed Glass-Steagall. I did. I repealed Glass-Steagall so that the bankers could sell derivatives that brought us into this tremendous debt that we had to bail out. And then they blame it on Bush, and they blame it on Obama now. But it's not Obama's fault. It's really my fault. But everyone thinks I'm great because I'm Bill Clinton. Well, this is what we call truth. Okay? That is truth. So Obama is pursuing leakers and whistleblowers. He's going after these whistleblowers that are uncovering government corruption. Fast and Furious and other examples. It's disgusting. Here's the 7/11 presidency, written by Jeffrey Anderson. Now, I'm just going to go over these illustrations, which is unbelievable. To illustrate this a bit differently, for every Jackson, that's $20 bill, we call it Jackson, that we've had available to spend on Obama, we've also borrowed a Hamilton, that's $10, and a Washington, $1, and spent those too. The only thing is that under Obama, we've literally spent the equivalent of 342 billion Jacksons, 342 billion Hamiltons, and 342 billion Washingtons, borrowing all of the Hamiltons and Washingtons. Now, when you look at the scorecard in the fiscal year 2011, as I mentioned earlier, the federal government acquired $2.303 trillion in tax revenues and other receipts, but it spent $3.6 trillion, 56% more than it had available to spend. Now, this is intentional. Now, any economist or any financial planner or, Dave Ramsey or any of these people would immediately tell you that feeding this debt, this going this way, is going to bring you into, like, you're just going to suck your life away and be, consumed into the fire of hell, because there is no way on God's earth that you can ever pay a debt off if you continue to add to it. If this works in your personal finances, and I don't care what. Listen, my father, and I was raised as a Democrat. My father was vice president of the International Ladies Garment Workers Union Northeast Department. He was a general manager. I come from a union background, and even late in life, my father realized how the union that he worked for screwed him, and they screwed him terribly, and they continue to do this. You can look it up. Unite versus Rayner. There you go. Retired officers of Unite, because ILGW became Unite, and they just, what they did is they pilfered all of these unions for all their assets and did other illegal activities, purchasing banks and other things like that with the Amalgamated Bank, and this is all on record. I mean, it's recent too. As of 2003, there was the lawsuit. Now, what we have here is a failure to communicate with the masses of people who do not understand how the New World Order works, what it is doing, and they are not even realizing that in many cases they're even complicit in the cogs of the wheel that makes it turn. We understand that we want to be free. We want all the things they tell us we have, yet we do not have them. We are enslaved with taxes ridiculously, and the government keeps saying more. Now, this progressive tax is, again, an ideology of Marxism. It is continuous, and it has continued, and Social Security, with all its benefits, has become a shortfall, and now there's not enough money for it. And Medicare and all of these other programs, as I mentioned earlier, over $1 billion in welfare programs. Now, that's welfare. That's not Social Security. We're talking about welfare, food stamps, health insurance, other costs, being, again, administered through two banks in this country, Bank of America or J.P. Morgan Chase, the Rothschild-Rockefeller Alliance. Now, the Rockefellers were made by the Rothschilds, and they work together. Again, bringing in this New World Order. It's the royals are all in on it. It's all about this big, huge, long-term plan to bring us back to, like I said, a quasi-neo-feudalistic Middle Ages, a dark age for those like us. Eliminating the middle class, back to serfdom, eliminating property rights. And I know that a lot of people can't believe this, but that's why I'm a member of the John Birch Society, because I've never seen more truth ever in information that's given to them. Now, they have a little bit of a siding. They don't want to. I think there's a political reason for this. But I've mentioned this to a few people, and personally, I mean, again, Hal Shurtleff is a good friend, the regional director, and it's not towards him, but it's towards somebody else that had done, who was in the law enforcement, and I mentioned about certain things about 9/11, and there was just, again, this resistance to the truth. That's just a personal thing that I've discovered But I think that the organization itself doesn't want to get itself associated with anything that can be considered quackery, for lack of a better word. If you want to call what I do quackery, identify what I do and we in the truth community do, and you will find that it is far from quackery, and it is the most precise thing. So you wonder then again about infiltration. The Rockefeller Foundation again tried to infiltrate many organizations, such as, for example, and they were on record refuted. But again, I find so many similarities to the Alcoholics Anonymous. Again, they were trying to be helped by the Rockefellers, and they wanted to help them, but they didn't take their help. It appears that way. If you look in history and the research I've done. But interestingly enough, I find, having worked for Combined Insurance and realizing what a Luciferian operation, again, this whole Masonic Luciferian connection, W. Clement Stone, who was the founder, was 32nd degree Mason and other things. He didn't take 33rd degree because of certain things that he knew. So he gave back to the people things. So it's a very confusing situation. I still have issues with it, trying to reconcile it in my own faith and my own beliefs. But I honestly believe that he made a lot of people mad in the Illuminati realm, in the high, because he was up there and decided that he really believed in God and was a God-fearing person. So there's a lot of information out there that's bad about him. But when you look, and the fact that he did, of course, have very Luciferian connections. Oh boy, it's end of the time already. With the fact that he was involved with a psychic and a lot of paranormal things. I'll talk about that again. I mean, again, anything's open here. So we're going to be, in just a moment, broadcasting the feature for tonight, which is Rollerball. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I'm Howard Nima, and I'm here again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. And in just a moment, after We the People and We Will Rise, we will have Rollerball. So stay tuned. I want to thank you for joining me tonight here on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. In just a moment, I'll be, again, broadcasting the feature film for tonight on Truth Talk Night at the Movies, Rollerball. Stay tuned, please.